Hello there, my name is Ismail. Welcome to Top Channel 101. So in this video, let us look at how to create a cushion or pillow in Blender. Yes, so we can use the default cube this time. So let's scale it in the y-axis, then in the x-axis. So you want to create a general shape like this, and then what you can do is go to edit mode and start adding some subdivisions, because we're going to use the cloth modifier to make the pillow look like a pillow, and it needs to have the mesh needs to have some good resolution on it. So let's add a few subdivisions here, and then maybe two there. And, so you mostly want to have squares like these, not rectangles. So yeah, I think this is good. But if we add a cloth modifier right now, modifier and play, see it just falls down. So what we need to do is remove, but before we do that, we need to make these, because if you see examples of pillows, they're always inflated, like they have air in them because they have cotton in them. So to get that effect, we need a force field that can bring that effect there. So let's add a force field. Hold down shift and then A, go to force field and then add the force. So move this to the center of the mesh, or something like that. We need a strength of more than one, something like 100 or 500, I think. Let's play back. You see, just at the beginning of the frame, you can see the shape taking the shape of the pillow taking shape, and but then it's pushed away, so it means that our force might be a bit too much. So let's reduce that. You can see it's being created, it's being inflated, but then the gravity pulls the mesh down. So we can select the cloth and then go to the cloth field weights and reduce the gravity, or turn it off by setting it to 0, so that we don't have the effect of gravity on that. So we need to center this force to the center of the pivot point of this object. So let's select the object, then hold down shift S, then cursor to selected, and then select the force. Shift S, then move selection to cursor. Okay, let's do this again. Cursor to selected, and then selection to cursor. Now let's play back. You see we have our pillow, but you see it's not, the resolution is still low. So what we can do is go to the modifiers and add a multi-resolution modifier. So if we do that, you see now the multi-resolution modifier is still there, but it's not affecting the shape of our cloth because it is above the cloth modifier. So we need to pull this up so that when these calculations are taking place, they also consider the multi-resolution. So let's see. I see the resolution is still the same because we haven't subdivided. So let's subdivide that so that we have something like that, and you see now we're getting much better resolution and even more wrinkles. But what we can do is maybe scale this in the X and the Y axis, so that is a bit small, and then so that it inflates even more. Let's see. You can also add a smooth modifier, a smooth shading. So if you play back, see it's taking shape, but it's lacking a bit of resolution, so we can subdivide again. This will slow down your machine, but since we're only doing the simulation once, I think that is not that big of a problem. So you see we are getting much better wrinkles now. So I think about there is good enough. Yeah, I think that's a good pillow there. So maybe something like that. So we can apply the multi-resolution and then the cloth modifier. So we can delete the force field, and now we are left with a pillow. But right now, if you go to edit mode, you can see that the pillow has a lot of resolution, and that we don't necessarily need. So if you're going to have multiple pillows, so maybe you have like 10 pillows in your scene, it might slow down your your scene quite a bit. So what I usually do, if I don't think, so let's first mark some seams here so that we can unwrap this and see. Maybe let's just add a seam here, just so that for that effect there, so that this part looks like it was sewed to the other part. You can also add the subdivision modifier to make it look even cleaner, but you see the resolution is too much right now. So so if I want to reduce the resolution, what I usually do is add the decimate modifier, but before that you can see this seam is a bit too wide. So what we can do is zoom in a bit, push this closer and this closer, so that we have a seam like that. Now let's add a decimate modifier and remove this sub-stuff, and right away you can see the resolution is reduced. So you can go in and start reducing the resolution a bit, and maybe you can add the sub-stuff after the decimate modifier, so that you see how it would look with the sub-stuff modifier, and you see what resolution can you get away with, and at what ratio are you not losing too much detail. Because you see the difference between here is quite a bit, because we are losing that seam, but but it's not too much from this. And I see the number of faces we have here is quite smaller from what we had here. Don't worry about the seam, we can always add that back. So I think at around here we can, this is still a good pillow, and so we can apply that, and I see what we have. Sorry, we applied the decimate, the subdivision modifier as well, so we need to re-add this to about, I think this is good enough. So apply that, add the subdivision modifier, and you can see we still have our seam there. So if you wanted to unwrap this right now, you can easily unwrap it, and that's why I added the seam before applying the decimate modifier, because it would be really hard to select this seam, and so you need to first apply the scale by holding down Ctrl A to get this menu, and then apply scale. Then you can unwrap, so that you can do a correct unwrapping of our mesh. So yeah, so you see our UVs are clean, and if we add our sub-stuff modifier, we get that. So if you want to have that seam, again you just select the seam itself. Let's make sure this first stand off is so that we see what we're selecting. So after selecting that loop, you can hold on Ctrl B to bevel this edge loop so that you have two loops, and then use your middle mouse to add a third loop, and then we can select this loop and scale it in to create our new seam, and you can see we have that. So if you want, you can now select all and Ctrl E, clear seam, so that our seam is that new loop we added. So Ctrl E, mark seam again, and then unwrap again. So we have that. So this is our pillow. Yeah, so if you found this useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.